Good afternoon, students. Today we will study chapter 2, the enlightened one. So, before we do that, first we will see important words. And important words are first word is enlightened. Enlightened is having or showing good understanding. Someone who is enlightened one shows good understanding. Second word is weeping. Weeping means crying. Third is choked. Choked means unable to breathe. Next is harmony. Harmony means balance. Next deeds. Deeds means action. Next word is salvation. Salvation means protection from the power and effect of sin. Okay, when you get salvation means you do not have any effect of sin, means you do not do sin and you do not have any effect of sin. Next word is possess. Possess means to have or own something. Next, discourage. When you discourage someone, you tell them to not do that thing, means you persuade against that action. Next word is starving. Starving, when someone is hungry, uh, then you say that person is starving. Next word is hymns. Hymns means a religious song or poem. Pitchers. Pitchers means a large jug. Next word is begged. Begged means to request someone, means requested. Next word is proximity. Proximity means nearness. Next word is anxious. Anxious means afraid or nervous. Why you are afraid or nervous? Because you afraid because you don't know what may happen next. Okay, maybe you are anxious on stage, or someone is in bad condition, then you are very anxious. So our chapter is the enlightened one. So this story is of time when the Lord Buddha was laying on his deathbed. Okay, he was laying in his deathbed, means he was about to die, and his disciples and devotees stood by. His disciples, means his followers, were standing there. They were silent and very anxious, means they were very nervous. What will happen? Will Buddha live or will Buddha will die? So next they knew that inevitable would happen at any moment. They knew that he would die. It is inevitable, means his death cannot be stopped. But the Buddha looked calm and serene as ever. Calm and serene means very calm. He was not afraid of death. Suddenly one of his followers, his devotee Bhadraka, started weeping. Okay, Bhadraka started crying. Hearing the sobs, hearing his sound, the enlightened one. Enlightened one is another name of Lord Buddha. So Lord Buddha turned to him and asked, "Why are you weeping? Why are you crying, Bhadraka?" So Bhadraka said, "Master, you are going to leave us forever." Bhadraka spoke in a choked voice, means he was not able to say because he was unable to breathe. Uh, who will guide us and light our paths when you are gone? So who will guide us when you will be gone? So with a faint smile playing on his face, Buddha touched Bhadraka and said, "Bhadraka, the light you are referring to is there always within you. So when I will be gone, there will be light inside you. Let your thoughts, words and deeds be pure." Okay, whatever you are thinking, whatever you are saying and whatever you are doing, it should be pure. It should not contain any sin, any bad thing, and in harmony with one another. And whatever you are saying, you must do that, and whatever you are doing, you must think that. Means whatever you are thinking you should say, and whatever you are thinking you should do. So there are some people who thinks different. They think of bad thing about them, but in face of it they do good thing. Similarly, there are some people who thinks good but they do bad or say bad. So don't be that person, he said. Whatever you're thinking you should say, and whatever you're thinking you should do. You will then discover within you light, the divine light, okay, the magical light within you will see, which will guide you on your way to salvation. Okay, when you get salvation, you are not afraid of after death. Okay, some people do sin in their life, and after they die they go to hell, and they are afraid that in hell they will be tortured. But when you get salvation, you are sure that you are not going to hell. So let's go to our next page. So all of us possess the holy light within us. Gautam Buddha says all of us possess the holy light within us. It is this light that enlightens us and enable us to see God's divine face in His holy man. In order to experience this light, we must cultivate in us noble thoughts. Okay, so to experience that light, to see the light of the God, we must cultivate, means we must start in ourselves noble thoughts. We must think good for another people, and whatever we are thinking, we say that words, we do action according to them. Okay, the divine light enable us to walk on the right path, which lead us to peace and happiness. So whatever you are thinking, you must think good, and whatever you are thinking good, you must do good also, you must say good also. This way you will achieve peace and happiness. Okay, let's see another story of Guru Nanak. So Guru Nanak, even as a young boy, was well known for his absolute faith in God. Okay, he was devotee of God. He liked to remain in the company of sages and saints. So he followed sages and saints. You can see that here sages and saints are sitting here, and his father, however, did not like Nanak's association with this religious men. His father wanted to do something, to start some business. He wanted Nanak to do some respectable job, get married, and settle down his life. Settle down means start a life. So he gave Nanak a substantial sum of money. Substantial means lots of money. He gave Nanak a lots of money and told him to do some profitable business. He told him to do some profitable business and become wealthy man. Nanak took the money and left home in the company of a friend. Okay, he took the money and went from home with his friend. On the way, they came across a group of hungry sadhus. Some sadhus were hungry. He spent the entire money he had. Okay, the whole money he had, he spent in helping them. His friend tried to discourage him. Discourage means to tell to not do that thing. His friend told to not do that thing. But his friend said, your father gave you this money to start some business, and you are giving this money for sadhus. So Nanak said, my friend, there cannot be a more worthy use of this money than helping this starving man. Okay, so you cannot stop a good man from helping others. Similarly, you cannot stop bad men from harming others. And after spending the whole amount, Nanak returned home. Guru Nanak, the first Guru and the founder of Sikh religion, was a genius who spent his entire life for the betterment of humanity. He travelled far and wide. He travelled lots of places. He travelled from South India to Pakistan, to North India. He travelled many times and reformed the lives of large number of people. He changed the life of lots of people. He believed that there is only one God whose name is truth, Ek Omkar Satnam. It is inspiring to note that Sri Guru Nanak Guru Granth Sahib, the holy book of Sikh. What is the name of holy book of Sikh? Its name is Guru Granth Sahib. The Guru Granth Sahib was started by Arjun Dev. Okay, and that book contains hymns of not only Sikh gurus but also those of Hindu and Muslim saint also. So that book contains all the good songs and poems of different religions. So once Swami Vivekananda was traveling by train. Let's read now a story of another person, that is Swami Vivekananda. So Swami Vivekananda was traveling by train. It was a hot summer noon. Okay, it was a summer time. He felt hungry and thirsty, but what could he do? So what he could do? He had no money to buy food or drink. He checked the pitchers at the station. All of them were dry. He sat on the bench, calm and quiet. So there was no water, there was no food. What he could do was he could just sit there on bench, calm and quiet. To his surprise, a shopkeeper came running with food and water. But thanks God, one shopkeeper came running with food and God. He spread mat on the platform and begged the Swamiji. He requested the Swamiji to sit down and enjoy the food. So Swamiji was very surprised. He told, "Perhaps you are mistaken. I am not you are thinking. I am not your friend." So shopkeeper said, "No, no, Swamiji. I know you are Swami Vivekanand." The shopkeeper continued saying, the heat of the day made me fall asleep, and I had a dream. An angel appeared and asked me to take food and water for you." So there was one angel appeared in his dream, and he said, what he said? Angel said to help Swamiji, to give food and drink to him. Then Swamiji said, "How good and kind of you, sir, to have taken so much trouble for me." "I have just obeyed the order of the angel," said the shopkeeper. Okay, when you are good, uh, God comes. God comes in your sleep. Even you are not in your consciousness. When you are in sleep, even then God comes to you. Okay, so the man fell at Swamiji's feet and begged of him to bless him. Swamiji stretched his hand and touched him on the head and said, "God bless you, my friend. God takes care of his children. Who creates us, created us, knows our needs." Okay, even God cares for you. If you do good things for others, God also cares for you. He knows what we need, and when we need them, God is especially pleased with those who do His will. Okay, so God sends people to help you when you are in right path. Sadhus and saints are all men of God. Our parents, teacher, and elders are also God, represent God in a special way. They are people of God. God inspires and enlightens us through the lives of these people. So God gives us knowledge to see the truth. How we see the truth? From these people. Sadhus, saints, parents, teachers, elders, they are all represent God, and they are all men of God, and they help us to see the right thing through their proximity. Proximity means when we are near with them, then we know about right thing, and through their lives and service they draw us close to him, close to God. They trust in and rely on God, and he in turn takes care of them. So like here, Swami Vivekananda was man of God, and God took care of him. He sent another person, a shopkeeper, to help him. And holy men are people who walk and guide others on the path lightened by God. So who are enlightened one? Enlightened one are people who have attained the knowledge, who have attained the wisdom, and they help others people. They help other people to see the truth. So if you want to become enlightened one, you have to first gain the truth, and you have to help other people. Okay, help guide other people. Thanks. I will be sending you answers of this lesson in next video.